What happens in cases where there's a dispute over the language in insurance policy, the insurance company will sometimes disclaim coverage, saying you really didn't buy a policy that includes this situation. And then the policyholder will say, I can't believe that that happened because, as far as I can see, I should be covered for this. Although in recent years, the courts have been moving towards more literal interpretation of the insurance policy and caring a little bit less about what reasonable expectations would be. And more often than not, the situation arises because what happened in the world can literally come within the language of the policy, but in ordinary speech and ordinary usage, the insured says, well, I don't think it really should. I wasn't thinking about this when it happened. And that's the kind of fight you have about the scope of language. Sometimes, especially for large policies, for large commercial actors, the parties themselves actually negotiated not only the price of the insurance, but the terms of the insurance, the amount of coverage, and which risks were going to be covered. They call those policies manuscript policies. And in that situation, courts are far less likely to hold ambiguities against the insured and in favor of, against the insurance company and in favor of the insured, precisely because the language in the policy resulted from the two parties getting together and negotiating the terms themselves. So I do not want to give the impression that every time a policyholder has a claim, they're the good guys, and every time the insurance company says, I don't think this is covered, they're the bad guys, because there has to be some general understanding of what risks people are insured against. Otherwise, you really couldn't have an insurance regime. These interpretive battles sometimes actually create business opportunities for the insurance companies, even when they lose. Let's say that the insurance company loses a case and it's found that something that they thought was pollution and therefore excluded from a policy is held not to be pollution. Well, if other companies have not insured against that additional risk, they can say, well, for a little bit of more money, we will insure you against the risk that we won in the last case, and we have no problem with insuring you. We just want to make sure we get paid for it and that the risks are defined.